So day 2, we go into a remote area where we want to do feeding. They don't currently have it here. They need it here. And to drive that point home, when we arrived, they're holding a wake, if you will. 7-year-old girl died. And we're not exactly sure what it was, but it's always a complication of malnourishment. So pick your illness, malaria on top of malnourishment, some sort of stomach, disorder or cholera, anything on top of malnourishment takes a child's life quickly. So we need to feed here in this village, and there's another village that we walk to that's real close. And there's just little villages like this all throughout. So expanding the mission feeding program, tying it in with the schools, so that they get an education and they get nourishment all at the same time, so that they can take themselves out of this position, because it's one thing to feed on an emergency basis, and that's good, that's necessary. Obviously, you save lives immediately. But the long-term goal is development, education, getting this area of the country to a position where they don't need mission feeding. They can sustain themselves. We've done that in other areas. In fact, I also learned that we have done so much good, along with many other organizations that have worked in Angola. The country has actually risen to a pretty good level compared to where it was, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Many of the aid organizations have pulled out and gone to areas that are, war-torn, obviously, Syria, places like that. So they've left here. Well, that cuts both ways. It's a testament to how programs like the mission feeding program and the nutrition clinics, malnutrition clinics, they work, they make an impact, they change a culture. But when the other organizations left, they left a lot of gaps, a lot of areas vulnerable to drought, famine, hunger, which has happened here. Rains came late in the season and the crops had already failed. So hunger sets in, and it just doesn't take long before a hungry child becomes a malnourished child, becomes a sick child, becomes a dead child. So we need the ongoing program tied in with the education to sustain them and develop the area and get them out of this cycle of living on the edge, this life and death cycle, if you will, where it's day to day, it's life or death. So that's day 2. Day 3, we'll see.